Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look at DroneLab and DroneLab Pro, mostly DroneLab Pro by Jon Lukas. So let's do it. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade, and of course this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. So welcome. DroneLab is finally out, and it's been something I've been waiting for a long time. And am I excited about it? I still am excited about it. There's some improvements I think that can be done to it, but I still think it's a great kickoff, and there's room for improvement. How you all doing out there? Now, my main mod is off doing his taxes today, I saw. So good luck, Thomas. Hope you get all that sorted. Hello, Jim and Justine and Trip Killer. What is happening? So I'm just going to jump straight into this today. And then we'll do possible. You know what? Let's just do it now. So we had a great rant yesterday. I had a fun rant yesterday talking about dead internet theory. And this week we're doing our odd couple rant as well. So I've got a friend of mine coming on the show. This guy right here, Pete Johns, he's coming on with me. And we're going to talk about the impending doom of AI taking over everything and us just being left for dust. It's very exciting. The end of the world, that's what we're going to talk about. How uplifting. Why not? No, but I love having Pete on every now and again for the Odd Couple Rant, and he's going to come and join me. So he did AI last week. I did it kind of the start of this week, and we're going to bring it all together and make one big soup of AI slop for you all. Good stuff. So today's app, as I said, is DroneLab Pro. So DroneLab was already there already was an app called DroneLab out by this developer. Let me bring up the details over here. This is DroneLab Pro. It is AUv3 and standalone. It is only $5. So there's that. It's pretty damn cheap. It's not going to break the bank or anything. But the other app that was released earlier is just called DroneLab, and this one is $1.99. This is not an AUv3, and it doesn't have half of the functionality that DroneLab Pro has. But it's very cheap if you want to dip your toe in. But it is only a standalone. You need to recall that. Hello, Hugh Caldwell. What's going on? Leela is slinging links. Thanks, Leela, for Thomas, who's disappeared. You can do all these goobly-goo things and all the doobly-doo things if you want to doobly-doo them. That's the way it works. Alrighty, so these are the prices. This is the two apps. Hello, Dell. I'm going to jump in and play a demo of DroneLab Pro, and then we'll jump back to DroneLab, have a look at that, and then get into all the features of DroneLab Pro just so you can see the difference. Okay, let's open up AUM. So I've got an instance of this. As you can see, it does run as an AUv3. So that's groovy. Now, this is an iPad-only app. Just so you know, if you go looking for it on the App Store with your phone, you're not going to find it. Let's just hit play and do some music, shall we, with DroneLab Pro. So pretty damn cool. Now, it's interesting. When I first caught wind of this, I was like, ooh, DroneLab Pro. Ooh, I was getting very excited. But then my brain always thinks about drones as in noise and extreme experimental stuff. That's just where my brain goes because that's what I'm into. But now that I have this, it is more of a relaxing kind of drone thing. So really soundscapey, but yeah, not so much for anything that's really disturbing, not like an Igor Vasiliev app. And that's okay because there's so much of that. So this is nice and refreshing to be able to create some mellow stuff like that. Let's bounce over to... I'll just make sure this is all saved and good. See if I have to come back to it. So we want to start with DroneLab first, the original DroneLab, and that is can be found here. As I said, it's $1.99. This is not an AUv3, it's just a standalone. Has a bunch of presets in here that you can select. Let's select this and hit play. So you can hear immediately where the influences come from. The difference is with this is we have a root section, we've got a chord section and a noise section. So we can come in and change the root note at any time. We can change the octave, up and down. We can change the morphing. We've got like random filters here. We've got pulse, wave, filtered FM. I wish this was actually AUv3 as well. This would be really cool. Can we turn this into an AUv3? We have an intensity dial. And you can see what that's doing. That's changing the intensity of the waveform, the matching color. And we can change the rate. So the lower the rate, and as we pull that intensity down, or we can really slow that down with a wide sine wave. So we've got chords in here for the actual tone as well in this second section. And we can change this to like a, let's go a major third. And instead of an octave, let's do a minor major seventh. And you can see that's changing the corresponding color as well. You've got volume for each of these as well. So we can change this to like a pulse width. You can actually go up and down an octave as well. And you can go up by individual cents on top of these chord tones. And then lastly, we have this noise. So let's just turn these down so you can hear what's happening. So lastly, on here we have this noise. So you can choose between like a phased, resonant, Brownian. We all know the brown noise, a pink noise. We can add volume to it. And down here we have these sound effects which randomly pop through. So if I change the reoccurrence, you can make these appear, and here are the sound effects. So you've got like a chirp, a cymbal, and these will randomly play at different times. So we can change the rate of this as well. Let's bring back in everything here. There's that random sound that gets played. Hi, Studio 6. So again, pretty much just a standalone, but you can hit record and start recording these if you want. Once you stop, it saves the recording, and you can export your recordings as well. Yeah, so you can export these, send them all out. There's the file, the duration of it. You can change the duration of it as well. And you can decide the format you want to export in, the bit rate. So really easy just to export this stuff as well. Hit export, it's going to do its thing. And it crashed. I love that. I love live streaming. We'll try again. If it crashes again, then it crashes again, doesn't it? All right, seemed to work there. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to give me an option to send it. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I've got a spinning wheel. I guess that's a good sign. Or maybe it's not. Or maybe it's crashed. So this is not the app we're looking at anyway today. So anyway, that's how you do it, apparently. You've got sound settings here as well. You can change fine tune. You can change your hertz, all that kind of stuff. You've got some app settings as well. Prevents sleep, parallax, visuals, so sound effect visual, all this kind of stuff. Wave 24-bit. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, yeah? So this came out a little while ago, but this is not what we're focusing on today. There's some presets in here too, if you hit play. Hi, Feisty. And you can save your own in here as well too. So there's that. All right, let's bounce over to the brand new one, the Pro. Here it is here, DroneLab. So this is the standalone version. Now you will notice the standalone version looks a little bit different than the AUv3 version. What you will notice is these keys down the bottom are not available in the AUv3 version because, you know, you can use a multitude of different keyboards. This is the on-screen keyboard that you get in the standalone version. So let's run across the top how this thing works. First of all, how do you get it to play? Well, there's a big play button. And off it goes. You can record with this too in the standalone version. There's a record button here. If you hit record, it's going to start recording. And we hit play. And we're recording. Stop and you'll see up here are your recordings. You can save them to audio share, whatever you want to do. You can play them, you can delete them. Hit the X, it's gone. There's where all your recordings are. Another thing that's really cool is if I hit play here and hit record, and then stop the recording, you can see we've got this file in here, but also you can access the files through the Files app. If you just go to on my computer, on my iPad, it's the same thing, it's a computer. You'll see there's a folder up here called DroneLab Pro, and this is where your recordings are. So if you want to get to them in here, you can do that as well. Unfortunately, we'll get to it. The one thing which is sorely missing from this app and really needs it, in my opinion, we'll get to. So there's your recordings. You can delete them from here, as I said. Good stuff. Up the top next to this, we also have this master compressor. So this is the master output of your track. You've got a master compressor here. You can squash it down, turn it down your threshold. You've got a gain for your output. So we'll cover that once we get something playing. When you're in standalone, beats per minute, you can decide how fast you want it to go. All good. Play. You've got your overall global tuning, so you can go up. You can change the tuning, couple of cents, 4 cents. It's all up to you how you want to do your tuning. And here is a representation of the keyboard. So we can see the keyboard down the bottom here, yeah? And there's a line underneath this keyboard. You can see it's over here to the side. And let me just get out of the way. So down the bottom here, we've got all these controls for the keyboard. Let's bounce over to the keyboard for a bit. You've got this larger version, so this makes the keys a little bit bigger. This one shrinks them down. You can go to the end of the line or to the end of the line this way. Now these keys work from C1 all the way up to C5? I think that's it, C5, all the way up to the one before B5, I guess. So you can jump back and forward. You can hit the center. So this little keyboard here will bring everything back to the center, which is A2. For this, we're in A for this particular project, so that's why it's doing that. Or you can just go individual keys, left and right, bring it back to center. Also, you've got down here A and B. So if I have A selected, then the keys that I'm playing on my keyboard will play that particular. So you've got A, B, and sound effects. So you're controlling the keys for that, the on-screen keyboard. So if I hit A and touch the keys, we're getting this sound. But if I move to B, we're getting this middle sound here. If I switch back to B now, we're getting this pulse triangle. Remember, these are the all this bottom layer here is for on-screen. For the standalone only, hello Brad, what's going on? And in this on-screen only section 2, you also can choose a scale. You can turn off the scale and it'll just be a regular keyboard, yeah? Or you can hit the scale down here and then choose from a luscious selection of scales. We could go like a major, minor bebop. Choose our root note at F. Choose an E just for fun. And your keyboard reflects that scale. Pretty easy stuff. But you'll notice up here too, getting back to up here, this line underneath these keys here, if I move the keyboard to the end, you'll see that line goes to the end. So you can always see where you are on the keyboard just by this little line under here. And there is that. So we'll bring that back to the middle. Simple stuff. Now, if I hit play, we're currently in an E minor bebop scale. Up the top here, an up and down, and this will move you up to an F. F sharp. And you can move these back down. And these are reflected down here in the bottom corner. So you can see now we're in an F sharp, minor bebop. If I bring this down again, we're back in an F. So you've got up and down controls to move up a semitone as you like. Good, really good for performance. Let's stop it from playing. Up the top here are your presets. So you have a whole bunch of presets in here. You can select them at your will, boom, like so, and they change. You also have a user preset section. So now if I come in here and hit want to save something, I'll just call it Jade. Hit save. It's saved that now in here. And the really cool thing about these presets is if you save something in the standalone version, you can open them in the AUv3 version. And if you save something in AUv3 within the app, you can open it in your standalone version. So easy peasy. Not much more to explain about that. And we've got some settings here. So a whole lot of MIDI settings here. Now you can come in here. You've got some support here. You can go to the website. Boom, click that. Take it over to the website and get a little bit more insight onto some Q&A, links to videos. So Jon has some videos on his YouTube channel that you can watch. There is that. Also, there's a link direct to the YouTube channel if you want to just go straight there. MIDI inputs, so you can rescan at any time. You can choose all inputs, so they're all selected, or you can just come in here and choose whichever keyboard you want. Currently, I have my Arturia keystep connected, so that is what is connected at the moment. So you can come in and connect to your heart's content. You've also got MIDI channels. So just remembering that the MIDI channels, so A, B, and the sound effects channel, they are all on separate MIDI channels, yeah? So you can see they're definitely separate MIDI channels, so you can play different things across different parts of the keyboard, or there's a multitude of ways you can make music. Plus you have MIDI assignments for anything, like the reverb, panning, volume, and you can just MIDI learn and just turn your keyboard and turn the knob you want, and it's MIDI learnt. Really easy to MIDI learn on here. Super simple. That's that. Let's get into these sounds and show you how to make something with it. As I said, across the top, A, B, and sound effects. There's a little on-off button for each of these. So I can turn these off and we can focus on A for now. Just going to make sure we're all connected. Let's just clear that and make sure we're all good here. Good. Okay, so I'm connected now. We've just got A selected, and I should be able to play some notes. Now, my MIDI keyboard and most MIDI keyboards have the option to send out MIDI data through different channels. So currently, I'm sending MIDI data through MIDI channel 1. I can change that by holding down Shift. And now I'm sending MIDI data through MIDI channel 2. So if I turn on B now, but if I switch back to MIDI channel 1, so you've got a multitude of ways of switching between MIDI. You can have on-screen, apps that are sending MIDI data to MIDI channel 1 to control one keyboard, and you can have it sending to MIDI 2 to control another keyboard. Or like in this example, I can switch between the two. And sound effects, so the sound effects one is on MIDI channel 3. So now when I press a key, I can control when the effects are played. Got it? Good. Let's come back over and focus on A. So all of these have pretty much the same kind of look and feel about them. They all have a reverb. Now, the way the reverb works, let's go full screen so you can see what's happening, is you've got a global settings. So whatever you set down here is just the global settings. There's nothing, you can't have individual settings, but you can have an individual amount for A, B, and sound effects. So we've got reverb. I'm going to just turn the reverb up really loud on this. We'll turn it off. So you should be able to hear the difference there. Turn it up full. You can decide on the time, the tone. But that is global. You can pan this as well. So if I turn the pan up, you're hearing more of the keyboard over in the opposite side or now on the left. Easy peasy, and you've got volume for each of these too, so you can control the volume. Here's where we decide the sound source. Now this is where I think the app has a lot more potential than what it currently has. So these are all the sounds. You've got a VCO synth sounds, you've got a DCO synth sounds, and you've got a couple of guitar sounds. This really needs the ability to import sounds. You do that with this, and this app becomes so compelling. I don't know if it's possible for the price of $5. You know, that's a really low price for something like this. But this would really change things up. If you can do this, Jon, the developer, this would be awesome. So a little bit limited with the sounds, but we can pick. This is the octave saw, pulse triangle, saw triangle, triangle. Then we've got distorted sines, pulse sine, saw sync, smooth lines, and these two guitars down the bottom. An electric steel, and lastly the hybrid nylon. Now you have a cutoff here. So with the knobs as well, let me just explain too. So knobs up and down. So if you grab it and go up and down, the knob will change. Or if you go left and right, trying to turn the knob like you're actually touching it and thinking you're turning the knob, it's not going to work. You want to go up and down or left and right to turn these knobs. You can see the way they're turning. So high, low, cut off. These sounds also have an attack and release, so we can turn up the attack. This is underneath here. We can turn up the attack. And you're getting more of that pad kind of sound, yeah? And your release adds extra notes. Lets it hang on a little bit more, yeah? Okay, let's get it droning, shall we? So let's do that. Now there's a drone button up here. If I turn this off and hit play, we're not going to get any droning, yeah? It's just not going to make any sound at all. As soon as you touch drone, it's off. So let me turn this down a little bit here and tell you about these layer controls. So when the drone is on, if I touch number 1, you'll notice the drone dropped a fair bit there. We bring it up to 2, it's a little bit louder. 3, a little bit louder. 4, a little bit louder. When the drone is off, these layers affect keyboard. Okay, let's bring the drone back on. Bring that down to 3. And what's really unique about this is you can come in here. So this is, we're currently set to a D. Let's change this out to just a major, D major. You can come in and add extra notes to the drone. So we've got an F running here, and when you click on these notes, you can turn them off. So now we've only got this D2 going. And you can add things back, change the octave. And you can build up chords within here, yeah? And as well, now we've got that drone humming. Now we know it's in D. Cool. modulation. Let's talk about modulation. Underneath here is our modulation. We can decide the amount we want to modulate. We can sync this to the BPM. You've got beats and you've got subdivisions. Turn off sync. And you can hear the wavering of this drone. You've got a randomization. You can sync, as I said. So that is the first block. Let's introduce our second block. Same controls. Let's add in another note over here. Let's add this we'll take out A for the moment. Now with this one, you should be able to hear the modulation really wobbling there. Hey, CQ. And you've got the same sound sources in here to play around with as well. This is what I mean by this would be so much better if you could import your own stuff. It'd take it to next level. So let's silence these. And we'll talk about the sound effects module on the end. When drone is turned on, it'll just start droning. You've got volume. And in here we've got a brook. We've got a stream, a river, suburban rain, and a highway. Let's get into the river. Also, you've got this play button here. So when the drone is off, you can just hit play and bring it in at random times that you want. Totally up to you. Add some reverb to it. Some modulation. Or just let it drone by itself. Volume, panning, all that stuff. Let's bring everything back in. Take down the river. So let's be honest, it's very relaxing. It's kind of hard to make music with because you just want to relax with it. We're at our halfway point, a little bit way over. I need to run an ad every day on the channel. Run an ad to avoid the ad. You can become a YouTube Premium subscriber or by skipping the ad. The ad has been run and boom, you may or may not have been served an ad. Yes, last night I was working really hard, getting a whole bunch of pre-recorded stuff ready. Last night I recorded this, but fell asleep before I could upload it. Lumen 2 by Compose Audio. So this should drop today here on the channel. It's all been recorded and done and ready to go. We've got a bunch of cool stuff we're going to be looking at this week. What else do we have? We're looking at Bleace Tides. So that is happening this week. Also, we are looking at RES09 by Audio Thing. That's ready to go. We also have up on the channel for tomorrow, which is a live stream happening. That is J-Amp Percussive by Jan Mays. This thing, very, very surprising. Took me by surprise. I didn't think it was going to lead to much. I really, really like this. This is a drum app, and it's really, really cool. Very inventive, very clever. And it's had a bunch of updates. So it actually came out a while ago, like about 3 weeks ago. And I've intentionally put it off because every time there's an update, it got better and better. And now it's just absolutely the right time to strike with this one. And as I said at the beginning of the show, my dear friend Pete Johns is here in the chat. Will be joining me on Thursday for the Odd Couple Rant, where we're going to talk about the end of the world and artificial intelligence. It's coming to get everybody because it is. It's over. It's over, Red Rover. It's the end. So let's talk about loading this up as an AUv3 because it is an AUv3 as well. And how do we do so? I'm going to load up a MIDI channel, an audio channel. So it's very simple. Just create an audio channel in here or a channel in Logic, whatever you want to do, MIDI channel. The thing with, if I'm going to have time, I can show you how to send this around. Logic's a little bit harder with this kind of stuff. So we're going to find DroneLab, load it up as an AUv3. Now the first thing you're going to notice is it's very different looking. So you only get one of these sections. So this is just source A. And you have to flick between them over here on the side. So you've got A, B, and sound effects. But the really cool thing is that this moves with the shape. So if I now take the corner of this and bring it down over here, we get this long elongated shape, which is really cool. You still only get one of these in here, but it's a longer version. Yeah, so you can go through sound effects and channel A. You've got all the options over here for global tuning, for your master compressor, your up and down, and your presets can be found in here as well. Or if you just hit full screen and go like so, or maxed, you get this view where you still get all three of them spread out. Remember, no keyboard down the bottom because, hey, you're the input. But you can use, you can use the actual keyboard from AUM and use this to send notes in as well. So don't fret. You've got multiple ways to add notes in here. Let's just go in and remove that keyboard. So yeah, a little bit different, but to hit play, you'll notice there's no play buttons or anything because it's all just linked to the door and off you go. Now again, if I want to connect a keyboard to this, I'm going to come up the top here, attach my Arturia key step, and make sure my other instance of this is gone. So I'm just playing my keyboard to this. So the ability of being able to use this as an AUv3, of course, is that you can add effects to it. If we come down here, we can add whatever AUv3 we want. So like a little delay in here. Let's go with this DroneScape. And we can take these to other levels, high pause and guitars. Plus, I could come over here and add like a MIDI processor, something like Zoa, and start generating notes. We could do like number 1 out into DroneLab. And that will be sending notes out to the triangle section. Now you're going to want to slow this down so you can hear these notes. Hear that? And we want to match what's going on over here. So looks like we got like a F major. So if we come over to Zoa, change this out to an F, major pentatonic will do. Refresh. Change the auto advance. Now we've got this sending notes from the scale into here, which is playing from this sound source. Let's turn everything off. Turn off the drone. And Zoa's sending these notes. Remembering that I have another keyboard attached that can play along with these notes. And now if we turn these drones on, we're off. We can bring the layers up of the drone so it's a bit louder. Change the sound source to an electric steel. Take things even further by adding in something like Soundbox. Finding one of these cool soundscape packs like Lumen 2, which is going to drop today. Picking a soundscape. Connecting the on-screen keyboard. And we can come in here and select some notes to hold. Remember, this keyboard down here is controlling Soundbox. I don't know, let's find some rhythms with Playbeat. They got some experimental stuff in here. Hey, Semtex Cal. All in all, pretty damn cool. As I said, I think it's got room for improvement. I don't know how far the developer wants to go with stuff like this. I think if you could import sounds into it, it would be just so much better. There is a roadmap. So if we come over here, there is a roadmap. You can see what's coming next. There's no mention. So it says here, let's bring that down. Walkthrough using DroneLab using Logic Pro. So there's going to be a walkthrough from the developer on that with Logic Pro. I can show you how to use it in Logic Pro right now. We've got a few minutes. I might do that. Musical performance videos and additional sound effects. So that's cool. But man, can we get the ability to have a folder where we can import our own sounds? That would be so cool. I don't know how, if you can do it, but I mean, $5. That is the price you're looking at for this thing. $5 $4.99. It does exactly what it says it does. I didn't even cover the master compressor. Let's quickly just look at that. So you've got this master compressor up the top here. Let's hit play. Here is the master compressor. You'll notice, I'm going to turn this down. And then push that output. Now remember, things like this, moving up the scale and everything, moving up a semitone, you can set all these to MIDI controllers, yeah? So you can hit a MIDI button and change all this as well. Use something like a launch pad, work a treat. So there is that. I'm going to quickly open up Logic and just show you how I record in soundscapes using this from Logic. Let's just save this for fun. Demo DroneLab. Hi Bear and Falcro, g'day. All right, let's close this because Logic's a little bit different. So if I load up a Logic project, create, oops, don't want to do that. Let's cancel, go into Logic, create a new project. Now I'm going to load a new track, and obviously I have to load it as a MIDI track, yeah, because it's a MIDI instrument. There it is, DroneLab Pro. So if we set all this up and I choose a preset from here and hit play, it's playing, yeah? It makes sense. So you would think if I hit record on this track and it's going to record it in. It's not recording it in because this is pumping out audio and we're in a MIDI track. It doesn't really work. So how do we do this? Yeah, quickly and efficiently. I'll show you how to do it. Load up your mixer view down the bottom here. Hit the plus up the top here, and you'll see you get all these extra options. We're going to add a send to this MIDI track, which has DroneLabs. We're going to hit create a send, create a bus, create a new bus, and that bus has been added just over here, this auxiliary track right here. Next, I'm going to need to add a brand new track, and that needs to be an audio track. There it is. We've got a brand new audio track. So what I'm essentially doing is recording the sound from here, sending it through a bus, and then into this audio track. This is the best way I can think of doing it at the moment. So now we've got this audio track. We want to say, instead of input 1, we want it to receive from this bus that we've created. Turn up the bus halfway, get a level. And now when I hit play, if we drop this down, put record on this track here, on this audio track. So the sound from this will get recorded into this. So now if we hit record and play, there's our sound being recorded directly in, and we can perform live. We can play the keys on this. If we've got them connected, you know what I mean? So did you notice there that the notes were played in? So the actual MIDI notes were played in here. So you can still go ahead and record the MIDI while you're recording the audio. So if you just want to record the drones, that's the way to go. But if you just want to record the actual synthesizer in here, you can record it up here as well with the MIDI. So now if we stop this, solo this audio track and hit play, there's what we just recorded, yeah? It even recorded that MIDI in. But then if we solo the track above and hit play, it's playing the drone in the background, but it's also playing that MIDI because it's been recorded here. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. All right. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Let's delete that project and stop the clutter. We got to stop the clutter, friends, because the clutter is evil. It just comes for you. So that is DroneLab Pro. It is $4.99. Or if you just want to grab the other one and mess about with it, just DroneLab. There it is. There's DroneLab, $1.99. It's not an AUv3. Remember, it's just a standalone, where DroneLab Pro is an AUv3 for $5. Done deal. There you go. Hopefully we get the opportunity with it to import sounds in. That would be magical. That would take this up to a level just beyond. But for what it does, super, super cool. Let's hope, even if we can't import our own stuff, we get some more sounds added by Jon, the developer. All right. If you're a Patreon, there's giveaways. That should be up on the Patreon right now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching on the replay. Hit the like, do all the stuff. Makes everybody happy, the YouTube guides. And I'll dump you over to Pete Johns right now. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. Stay awake. And you know what I'm going to say. Let's Oj. Boom.